I don't think we're good right here.
No, not that good. Okay. But they'll sort it out. They've got 2 weeks to sort it out before the next point race.
Bubba Wallace was running 4th place at Darlington Raceway when his 2026 season took another brutal turn. During the Stage 1 caution break,
Drivers, start your engines!
Would you do us the honor of...
his No. 2323 XI Racing Toyota pulled into the pit stall for what should have been a routine stop. What followed was one of the most damaging pit road sequences of the entire NASCAR Cup Series season. His crew failed to fully tighten at least one wheel, forcing Wallace to physically reverse his car back into the pit stall to correct the error live on national television. That mistake triggered a penalty for receiving service outside his designated box, dropping him from 4th to 16th place, a 12-position loss in a single caution period. The radio transmission that followed told the whole story. Wallace went straight to his radio and broadcast 3 words to the entire NASCAR audience: that what we viewed it yet. That line, raw, unfiltered, and aimed directly at the pit crew error, captured the frustration of a driver watching a competitive result disappear because of a fundamental execution failure. Darlington Raceway is one of the most track position dependent venues on the entire Cup Series schedule. Losing 12 positions under caution is nearly impossible to recover from, and Wallace didn't recover. Restarting Stage 2 from deep in the field, he was collected in a 3-car crash at lap 1111. Denny Hamlin, co-owner of Wallace's own 23XI racing team, made contact with Eric Jones entering Turn 3, sending Jones into a long, smoky slide. Hamlin was on his brakes when Wallace, unable to stop in time, hit both Hamlin's rear bumper and the outside wall. After trouble on pit road during the stage break cost Bubba Wallace 12 positions, Wallace was collected in a 3-car crash at lap 111 shortly after Stage 2 took the green flag. The sequence was a direct consequence of the pit road error. Without the penalty, Wallace never would have been in that position on the track. While Wallace's day was unraveling, his 23XI racing teammate Tyler Reddick in the No. 45 Toyota was executing one of the drives of the 2026 season. Reddick overcame a malfunctioning alternator from lap 2, a 16.3-second pit stop caused by a right front tire issue, and a late collision with Chris Buescher, and still won by 5.847 seconds over Brad Keselowski. It was Reddick's 4th win in 6 races, placing him in statistical company with only 2 drivers in history, Dale Earnhardt in 1987 and Bill Elliott in 1992. Only twice before has a Cup Series driver won 4 of the first 6 races in a given season. NBA Hall of Famer Michael Jordan, co-owner of 23XI Racing, spoke after the victory. "I'm pretty sure it's frustrating for him because he had an unbelievable car. You know, you never know what's going to happen, especially at Darlington. I think that the key to him winning was just keeping his head. He kept his composure, and he did an unbelievable job. 2 cars, same team, same manufacturer, same race, one winning by nearly 6 seconds despite multiple problems, the other crashing out after a pit road mistake. Reddick sits first in points. Wallace entered Watkins Glen 10th, but his trajectory has been moving in the wrong direction. The Darlington disaster was not an isolated incident. 2 weeks earlier, at Texas Motor Speedway, Wallace's No. 23 Toyota snapped around through turns 1 and 2 during Group 1 practice for the Bubba 400, hitting the outside wall and damaging the rear and left front of the car. He had completed 21 laps and posted the 5th fastest lap in his group at 188.081 mph, showing genuine speed before losing control. The crash damaged the rear and left front of the car. Wallace had completed 21 laps before the incident. The team was forced to unload the backup car. Wallace missed qualifying entirely and started Sunday's race from the rear. Wallace addressed the crash directly. It just came around out of nowhere and surprised me. I knew I was loose in the moment, went to correct it, and it was too late. Hate it. Thought we had some decent speed. Just a long Saturday that's going to make for a good Sunday." He also acknowledged the added burden placed on his crew. "Unfortunate. Our guys have had a really long week getting this Chumba Casino Camry ready, and now I just gave them an even longer day today. Going into Texas, Wallace had already recorded 3 finishes of 34th or worse in the previous 5 races, including 2 DNFs. He needed to stop the damage and instead made it worse before the race even started. His mindset heading into Sunday was clear: just need to execute all day tomorrow. We're starting at the back, no good pit stall. The odds are against us, so we will see how mentally tough we are. He also vowed not to repeat the practice mistake: "I haven't crashed in practice in quite some time." The positive of that is, I pushed the limits, found the limit, and it won't happen again. He finished 9th at Texas, one of his best results of the season, but it came after a week that should never have required a backup car. Then came Talladega. On lap 115 of the Jack Links 500 at Talladega Superspeedway, Ross Chastain delivered a strong bump into Wallace at the end of the back straightaway. The shove sent Wallace's No. 23 Toyota sideways toward the outside safer barrier directly in front of Cole Custer. Custer swerved, the 3 wide pack converged, and the result was the big one. 26 of 40 cars were collected. Among those involved, Connor Zilisch, Ty Gibbs, Daniel Suarez, William Byron, Carson Hocevar, Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Josh Berry, Shane Van Gisbergen, and 3-time champion Joey Logano. Wallace was evaluated and released from the infield care center, got wrecked there unfortunately. Our Xfinity Toyota Camry was a little unstable getting pushed, but manageable. Maybe that hard of a hit was too much, and so unfortunately, we wiped out a bunch of cars. Got to debrief, figure out how to be better. Logano put the mechanical reality into plain terms: you have round bumpers and unstable cars, and cars that you're able to pop the bubble real easy and get to each other's bumper. But when you get there, you've got to be careful because they're not stable. When you get 2 basketballs against each other, it's not going to push straight. Most recently, at Watkins Glen International on May 10, 2026, 23XI Racing's Bubba Wallace and Joe Gibbs Racing's Christopher Bell exchanged words on pit road following Sunday's Cup Series race. The 2 drivers were spotted speaking to each other as they climbed out of their race cars following the 100-lap showdown on the 45-mile road course. Both drivers had poor days. Bell finished 21st. Wallace crossed 29th after spinning in turn 1 during the final stage. Wallace's spotter Freddie Kraft took to social media to clarify, "You shouldn't speculate." Bubba wasn't mad at Bell. The pattern across these 4 consecutive events, Texas, Talladega, Darlington, Watkins, Glen, forms a picture of a team struggling to execute cleanly when it matters most. Now, the next stop is the 2026 NASCAR All-Star Race at Dover Motor Speedway on Sunday, May 17 at 1 p.m. ET on FS1 with $1 million on the line. The format introduces a new element, the Mechanics Wear Pit Crew Challenge, where each crew performs a single 4-tire stop with no gas during Saturday qualifying, with results determining pit selection order for the All-Star Race. For a team whose pit crew just cost their driver 12 positions at Darlington, that is not a minor detail. Defending All-Star Race champion Christopher Bell, the same driver Wallace confronted at Watkins Glen, arrives at Dover as the man to beat. Wallace qualified 27th for the All-Star weekend. Reddick, sitting first in points, qualified 36th last in the order. The Pit Crew Challenge on Saturday at noon ET on FS1 is not just a qualifying format. For the No. 23 team, it is the first public timed direct accountability test since the Darlington reversal. The fastest pit stop with no penalties wins the challenge. It is either a redemption moment or another data point added to a 2026 season that has already delivered more problems than results for Bubba Wallace and the No. 23XI Racing side of the garage.